Hi folks, and welcome back to Math with Captain Rod. I'm making this video here to help demonstrate how to solve fourth order equations, or at least what I'll call factorable or simple fourth order equations here. So we're going to take a look at these three examples starting with this one. X to the fourth minus 12x squared minus 64 equals 0. So when you're first starting out with this is what I would recommend you do. We're going to make a quick little algebra substitution. We're going to say let x squared equals z. And the reason for doing that is, okay, if z is equal to x squared, then x to the fourth would be z squared. So this term right here would be z squared minus 12, right, x squared, but x squared is equal to z, and then minus 64 equals 0. And you see what we've done is we've changed this equation from a fourth order to a second order, a quadratic equation. And this can be solved perhaps by factoring. I usually go to the quadratic formula. That's kind of my go-to method here. And what we'll do then is we'll find a couple values of z, and then we just have to kind of go back and back substitute. So let's see. Z is going to be, now applying the quadratic formula, the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared. Now if I take negative 12 and square it, you get 144 minus 4 times a is 1 times c is negative 64. I usually do this, and instead of putting minus 64 I just come and change that to a plus, all over 2 times a. Okay, so 12 plus or minus square root of. All right, let's kind of investigate what we got going on in here. Oh boy. Let's see, 64 and 4. That's 256, and then 144. Oh, is that 400? 6, 4, 10. Yeah, 400, okay. And then over 2. So let's see, we're going to have 12 plus or minus, and the square root of 400 is 20. Okay, so 12 plus 20 is 32, over 2 is 16. 12 minus 20 is negative 8, over 2, that's negative 4. Now we're not quite done yet. What we have are solutions for z, but we have to take that back through and figure out what x is. So one possibility is that x squared equals z, and z could be 16, in which case x is plus or minus 4. Other possibility is that x squared could be equal to negative 4. And when you square root both sides, you get x equals plus or minus 2i. So we ended up with 2 real solutions out of this and 2 imaginary solutions. All right, and that example is done. And if you don't mind, I'm going to move this kind of over to the left here to make myself some room. All right, so let's take a look at this one here. You can do kind of the same thing here. Let's go ahead and let z equal x squared. And now this can be written z squared minus 1 equals 0. Now, however you want to solve this, one thing we can do is add the 1 to both sides and then square root it, or we can just factor it. This factors into z minus 1 and z plus 1. So one solution is z equals 1. Other solution is z equals minus 1. But remember, z is not what we're after. What we're after is x. So this actually reads x squared equals 1, and this one reads x squared equals minus 1. And this has solutions of plus or minus 1. Oops. Because 1 squared is 1, and negative 1 squared also 1. This one has solutions of plus or minus I. Because remember, I squared is equal to minus 1. Well, minus I squared is also equal to minus 1, because the negative 1 squared is just 1, positive 1, and then I squared is the minus 1. So there's 4 solutions, again, to this equation. All right, this one right here is going to be very, very similar. In fact, it's similar enough, I'm just going to leave this as an exercise to the reader. Start it by letting z equal x squared. This is going to read z squared minus 64 equals 0. You're going to get 2 values for z, and then just take those values, put them in here, solve for x. So again, the intent here is to help you understand how to solve fourth order equations. I hope that this helps. Have a great day.